Hey everybody, this is PJ Riley from Lancaster Archery. We're out here at the Outdoor Groups facility in West Henrietta, New York. I'm here with Josh Sidebottom. And Josh, we have the brand new Elite EnVision for 2022. You guys really hit it out of the park with this one. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, we're excited about this. This is our new flagship hunting bow for 2022. There's a lot of cool stuff about this bow. A lot of it has to do with the geometry. We did a lot of things to help with the balance, stability, and the feel of the bow for 2022. Right. So it's a little bit shorter axle to axle, but the riser actually got longer.
Right.
So longer and straighter. So it's a shorter, wider limb, a wider limb platform on this new bow, which allowed us to get the riser even straighter and balance the weight of this bow directly over the grip. So in other situations where you have a heavily reflexed riser, you might start to feel top heavy or it wants to roll forward. Right. This bow just aims awesome.
Awesome. We are going to go through this top to bottom to tell everybody about it. But first, we're going to check out the specs of the Elite EnVision. The Elite EnVision measures 31 inches axle to axle. It's got a 6 7/8 inch brace height, IBO speed rating of 334 feet per second. It's got a mass weight of 4.45 pounds. The let-off is adjustable from 70 to 90%. For draw lengths, we've got an adjustable mod that rotates from 23.5 to 30.5 inches, and it's available in peak draw weights of 40, 50, 60, 65, 70, and 75 pounds. All right, Josh, so let's start out with the EnVision. Let's start out with this cam here. Tell us about it. What are we looking at?
This is our ASIM tri-track cam system, and there's a lot of cool things about this cam. One of the big things is the draw length range. 13 different draw length settings, and they're adjustable in 1/4 inch increments.
1/4 inches.
So from 23.5 to 30.5 inches of draw length, you can fine tune this to any draw length you need.
That's crazy.
In addition to that, there's 3 different mods that you can put on this cam.
Right.
This comes with our performance mod. We also have a 75% let off mod and our standard ASIM mod. So there's a bunch of different options, and the let off being adjustable as well. So 70 to 90% on the standard mod and the performance mod.
Gotcha.
On the 75% let off mod, you can get that down to about 60% let off, and you can shoot it with a limb stop or a cable stop. So really whatever feel someone is looking for out of their bow, you can accomplish it with this cam.
This is your limb stop pad right there. You've used that for a couple years now. And yeah, that 1/4 inch. So that's huge. Because in bow shops, if you had to get to that 1/4 inch, you were twisting cables, which changes different properties about the bow. It does other things besides just change your draw length.
Yeah.
But man, to just be able to move that mod to dial it in like that, that's incredible.
Yeah, when we design these cams and these bows, we want the strings and cables at the length that they're designed to be at.
Right.
And as soon as you start twisting it to fine tune your draw length, you're kind of taking it out of tune that we wanted.
Sure. All right, so moving down, we've got new limbs here, and especially this new limb pocket. Tell us about those.
Yeah, so that's all been redesigned for 2022. It's a wider limb with a wider stance, which incorporates our 1/4 inch axles and bigger bearings. So it really makes everything super stable on the limb tips. And it's a shorter limb than what we've used in the past. When we went wider, we were able to go shorter, which ties into the geometry of the riser that we were trying to achieve.
Right.
Set technology, obviously.
Love that.
Yeah, that is a huge selling feature of any of our high-end bows. The ability to adjust this bow on the line, to tune it, paper tune it, broadhead, bare shaft, whatever kind of tuning you're doing, it's super powerful.
Yeah.
And we upgraded that this year. So it's a revised design. We were able to take some weight out of that system, bring in a little bit more adjustment range, and trim up the design to work with these wider limbs.
And what it's doing now with where you have the adjustments is right here for set technology, what you're doing is moving the limb pocket basically.
Yep.
Instead of yoke tuning or anything like that.
Correct.
And so with it set here now, what's happening and where is it happening?
Yeah, so there's the pivot will pivot around the back of the riser.
Right.
And there's a micro drive screw below it which will drive the tail end of the pivot back and forth, which rotates this whole member on the back end of the riser. And what that does is it really puts a little bit more load in one limb and takes a little bit of load off the other limb. Almost like back in the day when people used to stack limb deflections or shims to accomplish a certain tune on their bow. This takes all the fuss out of that. You don't have to put it in a bow press.
What I like best about it is when somebody is getting a tear through paper, you tell them exactly what to do. There's directions right on there.
We try to make
you get a left, turn this way. You get a right, turn that way.
Yeah, try to make it as easy as possible.
That's awesome. So the riser now, tell us about that, because you mentioned it's a little more vertical, not quite as much deflex there.
Yeah, the riser makes up almost 90% of the axle-to-axle length of the bow. So proportionally, it's a longer riser than what we've had in the past. And going longer with the shorter limb, we're able to make it straighter. And it's all about stability and how the bow aims and how easy it is to shoot. That's really what we were trying to accomplish there. So the weight of the riser and the bow is more centered over the grip. It's a stiffer riser, so you're going to get less deflection with a straighter member. And what that really results in is a bow that's just really forgiving. You combine that with a nearly 7-inch brace height, and it's a great bow to shoot.
2 cages, top and bottom, again, which plays to that rigidity there.
Yep.
And that riser length. So that was something I didn't know much about till the last couple of years, that when you get that longer riser, I mean, you can have the shorter bow aim like a bigger bow.
Yeah.
I mean, this 31 inches axle to axle, but it probably holds like a 33, 34 inch. It just feels bigger.
Yeah, and with the big cams, you have a really comfortable string angle at 31 inches axle to axle, and the bow aims like a much longer bow for sure.
So I see you've kept here your LTR, linear tunable roller. That's an excellent feature just to adjust that load that the cables are exerting on the bow there.
Yep.
Kept that in there. 2 burger holes here. So if your rest has that width, I mean, you can lock that thing in with 2 bolts. Yep. Bow hunters, you're going through the woods, banging that thing around, it's not gonna move. All right, so Josh, we got that Elite grip there. I mean, this thing is just awesome. Tell us about it, about the design of it, what you're putting into it, because you put this on your target bows.
Yep. Yeah, it's almost identical to our target grip, and through many years we've come to something that everybody feels really comfortable in.
Yeah.
And it's got enough of a flat on the back where you can really set your hand on it, but it's narrow at the throat, and there's material removed in all the right places so that your hand just fits in it like a glove.
We should mention, I mean, you've had a lot of your pro shooters and stuff. I mean, they shot these grips and told you, hey, do a little bit of this, tweak it a little here. I mean, that's how you came to this grip.
Yeah, we've had it more rounded, more flat. We changed the taper. We tried all kinds of different things to settle on what we feel is the best grip.
Nice. And then coming down the bottom, we have a little new vibration reduction here. Tell us about that.
Yep, that's VRT. So that's part of the overall vibration reduction package that comes on an EnVision. So we have the Vibex blocks as your limb dampeners, and then we have the VRT, which is a riser-mounted dampener located in the bottom of the riser to soak up any additional vibration you may feel.
Gotcha. All right, Josh, winner's choice strings and cables. I mean, you guys make these right here in-house, so you have the quality control there.
Yep. Yeah, it's a high-end set of strings and cables, comes right on your factory bow.
And then you guys have a lifetime guarantee on the bow, and you have the hunt guarantee.
Yep.
That one I was not familiar with. Tell me about that one.
Yeah, so the hunt guarantee is a big deal. If you're out on a hunt somewhere and you have an unfortunate situation with your bow, you can call into our customer service, and we have some bows here set up that are ready to go that we can send to you to keep you hunting.
That's awesome. Yeah, so I mean, you work all year, you're looking forward to this hunt. Something happens, you drive over your bow, idiot like me, you drop it out of the tree stand or whatever, bam, you guys will send one out, so at least you can get through your hunt.
Yep.
That's awesome. Well, Josh, I had a little bit of time to spend with this bow, and I mean, Elite always talks about shootability with the bows. Mm-hmm. And this one, I mean, I don't know how you can reduce the vibration anymore. There's basically none. Yeah. You shoot it, and it feels like nothing happens.
Yeah.
But the draw cycle is nice. You know, I like that high let off. It just feels good to me with that let off. And this is one of those bows where you come back to full draw and it kind of feels like you almost got to push if you want to let down the bow.
Yeah.
Which is super comfortable that I like. But it's fast, and like I said, it holds like a bigger bow. That's what I noticed just for aiming. That's incredible. What are some of the things that you're hearing from the bow hunters and folks who are out shooting this bow?
Yeah, the biggest thing we're hearing is just how fun the bow is to shoot.
Yeah, right.
And from my personal experience with it, I don't practice as much as I probably should, but this is a bow that I can take a week off and I pick it up and it's like I didn't miss a step. It's it's really easy to shoot. It aims great. And there's no struggle with it. You know, sometimes with a bow that is super aggressive, it may be difficult to shoot.
Right.
And if you're not shooting every day, you'll start to fall behind. And this feels like something you can just pick up and be really accurate with.
It's one of those I always noticed that draws lighter than it feels. Like this thing's set at 70 pounds, but I would guess, low 60s or something. It just has that smooth draw cycle. And as you mentioned, that brace height of almost 7 inches, man, that's super forgiving. And we don't see that in a lot of hunting bows necessarily, but it's got all the performance that you would want with a smaller brace height, which then creates problems with hand torque and, other issues that you can have.
Yeah, and really what we wanted to build out of this platform is shootability. And there's all kinds of attributes that make up what shootability is, but the big brace height just adds to that and the forgiveness, and I think that's a big part of why you can pick up this bow and be really accurate with it out of the box.
I don't want to skip over this set technology. I want to make sure folks appreciate that when you're on the line, you're doing your paper tuning. That's the most simple tuning that a lot of hunters do. With a lot of bows, you may have to go to a press and move different things to get that set correctly. This one, you can be standing right there, little turn on this screw right here to move that limb pocket, shoot again, see what it does. I mean, that is just, for the DIY guy who wants to do it at home, that's incredible feature right there.
Yeah, it's definitely the most responsive tuning system and easiest tuning system on the market. It can be really frustrating if you're not getting the bow to tune the way you want, you're not shooting very well, and then you make an adjustment, and it's like the bow doesn't respond.
Right.
This quarter turn on this is noticeable through paper or shooting broadheads.
Absolutely.
And it's super effective.
Yeah. So some options, Josh. Bow hunters are individuals. They like things the way that they like them. So one of the things is that 75-pound option. There's there are some bow hunters out there who like a little more than 70. New colors. I'm holding one of them here. There's more than just this one. This one is called?
Yeah, this one's called Sienna Brown.
Sienna Brown.
And we also have Mountain Tan, which are two new solid colors that we added this year as part of our Mountain series. That with the 75-pound peak weight limb option. We get a lot of requests, and a lot of those requests come from the Western market.
Sure.
So we're trying to listen to our dealers and get them the bow that they need in their shops.
Yeah. And you have the new Elite stabilizers here, which will match. Of course, got to have everything to match.
Exactly. Yep.
You got 8 and 11-inch version.
8 and 11-inch, with matching end caps, and they're done with the same decoration process as the riser, so they're going to match perfectly to your riser.
Awesome. All right, that is the brand new Elite EnVision flagship hunting bow from Elite for 2022. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like it, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to click that bell to get notifications whenever we put out new videos. And as always, if you have any questions, you can visit us at LancasterArchery.com.